Have you ever stopped and wondered, am I unintentionally repeating the patterns of hurt that I experienced from my father or father figure? Could it be that I'm now exhibiting some of the same behaviors that cause me pain? Hello everyone, welcome back to Beloved for our 50th episode. I'm Cherise Rochelle and I'm so glad that you're here. Today we're tackling something that can feel uncomfortable but is necessary for true healing. Recognizing whether we are the problem now. Father wounds leave deep imprints, and if we're not careful, we might unconsciously repeat the very behaviors that hurt us. But acknowledging this isn't about shame. It's about awareness and taking responsibility so that we do not perpetuate cycles of pain. When we start healing, we often notice the same wounds in others, whether family, friends, colleagues, or acquaintances. Yet, sometimes in the process of recognizing their flaws, we miss how those same patterns might still live within us. Healing isn't just about seeing who hurt us, it's also about seeing who we might have become because of that hurt. And true freedom begins with honest self-examination. Matthew chapter 7 verse 3-5 says, "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." This verse is not about shame, it's about clarity. When we look inward with humility, we gain the vision to see others and ourselves through grace rather than judgment. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. Let us look at how the wound repeats itself. Many of us unconsciously become mirrors of the very people who hurt us. Not because we want to, but because pain is a powerful teacher when left unhealed. Father wounds can show up in subtle ways, not just in pain, but also in how we relate to others. Here are a few examples. Control or manipulation, where you end up seeking control in relationships because helplessness once felt safe. Withdrawal or avoidance, where you end up pulling away emotionally when uncomfortable or afraid of being hurt again. Overcriticism or judgment, where you may be projecting inner pain onto others. Overfunctioning, where you may be doing too much for others in order to earn approval or love because you were taught that love had to be earned. People pleasing or fawning, where you minimize your needs to avoid conflict or gain acceptance. Or sarcasm, detachment, or criticism, where you use these as a means of protecting yourself. The wound becomes a blueprint. We start reacting instead of relating. We build walls and call them boundaries. We confuse independence with healing. Ironically, in trying to never be like the person who hurt us or those who hurt us, we can unknowingly become them in another form. None of these behaviors make you a bad person. They are unhealed coping mechanisms from a time when protection was necessary. But now, God invites you to maturity, to not just heal from the pain, but to take responsibility for how that pain shapes your behavior towards others. Let's look at what the Bible's perspective is, and how awareness can be an act of humility. The Bible links healing with self-examination, and Psalm chapter 139 verses 23-24 say, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." God is not asking us to examine ourselves in order to condemn us, but to cleanse us. When we examine our hearts with Him, we invite light into hidden corners such as pride, bitterness, defensiveness, or avoidance, and all the subtle traits that prevent us from achieving true transformation. Even Jesus modeled self-awareness in His humanity. He withdrew often to pray, reflect, and realign with His Father's will. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And renewal begins with awareness, not blame. Transformation is impossible if we refuse to look at the parts of us that still reflect the likeness of our wounds. How can we then recognize and break the cycle? Here are a few questions to ask yourself. Am I showing up in relationships from a place of healing or self-protection? When I feel threatened, do I react in ways that are familiar from my childhood home? Do I use control, withdrawal, or criticism in order to feel safe? Have I started expecting others to pay for the pain that I didn't cause but still carry? Am I overfunctioning or people-pleasing in order to earn love or to avoid conflict? Do I resist feedback because I equate correction with rejection? Am I reacting from my wound or from wisdom? Am I trying to control outcomes like someone once controlled me? Am I demanding from others what I've never received, whether it's validation, attention, or an apology? Am I showing up in relationships from a place of love or a place of fear? Have I unconsciously adopted behaviors of the person who hurt me? And here are some steps that you can take in order to break the cycle. 1. Pause and reflect. Is this my wound speaking or my authentic self? 2. Own your patterns. Acknowledge where you've mirrored behaviors that hurt you. 3. Protect yourself and others from repeating harm by setting boundaries. 4. Seek God's guidance. Pray for wisdom, humility, and healing. And 5. Practice new responses. Replace old patterns with intentional, healthy choices. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22 to 24 says, "Put off your old self and put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." Transformation requires both honesty and action. Honesty is not about self-condemnation, it's about liberation. The more you see your own patterns, the freer that you become from repeating them. Awareness creates choice, choice creates change, and change is the evidence of healing. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 26 says, "Give careful thought to the paths of your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways." Here are some reflections or journaling prompts from today's episode. In which areas of my life might I be mirroring patterns from my father or father figure? How have these behaviors impacted my relationships? And what practical steps can I take today to respond differently and break the cycle? Today's affirmation is, I'm aware of my patterns and I take responsibility for my actions. I choose to break cycles of pain and to respond from love, wisdom, and healing. And we're going to close on this verse that we spoke about earlier from Psalm chapter 139, verse 23 to 24. "Search me, O God, know my heart, test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me and lead me in the way everlasting." Even when confronting difficult truths about ourselves, God's presence guides and restores us. Thank you so much for joining me today. For the written version of each episode with the Bible verses, reflections, journaling prompts, and any ongoing support on your healing journey, please subscribe to Beloved on Substack. And you can also listen on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, among other podcasting platforms. If you are not listening from one of those options that I just mentioned, remember that self-awareness is not shame, it's freedom. Healing allows you to respond differently and to break cycles that once defined you. God's grace doesn't just cover your past, it transforms your present. And when you see traits of the person who hurt you within yourself, please remember that awareness is a doorway to redemption. When you bring that honesty before God, He doesn't condemn you, He reshapes you. The same mirror that once showed you your wounds now shows you your growth. And when you begin to see clearly, you start to see others and yourself with grace. Until next time, stay rooted in truth, wrapped in grace, and always remember, you are beloved.